This probably isn't your first shave. You already have your first razor. You know how to shave. So we won't waste your time telling you to wash with warm water before putting on a generous layer of shave gel. Instead, we'll show you how to do other things, like how to appreciate art. And since this isn't your first shave, we wouldn't dream of telling you that our razors are designed to go with and against the grain. You already know that. So we'll show you how to negotiate. And since this isn't your first shave, we'd never in a million years have to tell you to rinse with cold water to refresh your face. Not a chance. Instead, we'll show you how to accept an award. And we're definitely not going to end this video with a girl admiring our guy's smooth shave. No way. But we will show you this beautiful woman just for the heck of it. This isn't your first how to shave video or your first razor, but they're both likely your first real ones. How to shave video or your first razor, but they're both likely your first real ones. This probably isn't your first shave. You already have your first razor. You know how to shave. So we won't waste your time telling you to wash with warm water before putting on a generous layer of shave gel. Instead, we'll show you how to do other things, like how to appreciate art. And since this isn't your first shave, we wouldn't dream of telling you that our razors are designed to go with and against the grain. You already know that. So we'll show you how to negotiate. And since this isn't your first shave, We'd never in a million years have to tell you to rinse with cold water to refresh your face. Not a chance. Instead, we'll show you how to accept an award. And we're definitely not going to end this video with a girl admiring our guy's smooth shave. No way. But we will show you this beautiful woman just for the heck of it. This isn't your first how to shave video or your first razor, but they're both likely your first real ones.
The chief guest of the 71st encounter and the rector of St. Peter's College, Reverend Father Shadow Martin, the principal of Royal College, Mr. Paul Bronson, will be introduced to the presence. Who's also the chief guest of the 71st Royal Rugby encounter, very much so. Thank you, Reverend Father Shadow Martin, Director of St. Peter's College. Thank you, Mr. Vitali Dinasekara, the principal of Royal College. And thank you, Reverend Father Sean Kasanaka, the Vice Rector, and the Sports Coordinator of St. Peter's College. We are about to see an exciting, very scintillating rugby encounter between St. Peter's College and Royal College. The 71st rugby encounter between Royal College and St. Peter's College. This particular encounter is the third encounter for the BC Memorial Trophy donated by Mr. Tony Andy and family in memory of his father, who was a teacher at both Royal College and at St. Peter's College. We wish the very best to both teams and the officials of the rugby encounter. Let the best team operate with BC and the Memorial Trophy. Thank you.
A very good afternoon and welcome to the St. Peter's College grounds in Bumblebee for this highly look forward to encounter between St. Peter's and Royal College. Royal College coming off the back of a massive win against Kingswood. Some good encounters last week as we kick off the action here at St. Peter's College. And Royal thumped that ball directly into touch to slow the game down immediately. And we have SW Chang in the commentary box with me. So going to be an interesting game, riding high on confidence.
Absolutely, they are riding high on confidence. And not to be outdone. And it's been good sports battle. As you can see, a clean line out taken by St. Peter's.
Quick ball given out to the beauty right backs. The only news we can bring you right now is that Nishan Pereira has broken through the Royal first line of defense and run pretty much unopposed to score at the left corner. Kevin Dixon starting from the bench in this game. We can't bring you much more than that because we are completely obstructed with our view here. Can't see a thing in the commentary position at St. Peter's. All we can see are a sea of cassocks around us and cameras. So we will bring you the action as soon as I can possibly see it. Can possibly see it. Can possibly see it. Conversion unsuccessful, so St. Peter's lead early doors, 5 points to 0. Pretty simple try, really breaking through the first line of defense. Nishan Pereira, one of the senior men in the St. Peter's team, and that will give them a little bit of confidence. Royal not used to chasing the game, and that kickoff didn't go the 10 meters on the full, but it did on the bounce, and that doesn't matter. But Royal bundled into touch on the far side. Ashok taking the restart kick. And Chaga was talking about home ground advantage in the lead up to this game, but this is a ground that Sanath Martish knows better than probably most of these players that are playing here. So for Royal, it will be much less of a home ground, an away disadvantage because their coach is very familiar with these surroundings.
Shanaka, absolutely, you're right. But unfortunately, Marty is not on the field. His charges will have to start performing for his experience. And having said that, yes, Marty knows the entire, I think, every blade of grass here because he's been a very successful coach of St. Peter's. And St. Peter's surprised all of us by putting having 5 points on the board. And Royal, of course, restarted in their territory in the St. Peter's half.
The first breakdown itself was Royal claiming that line out, but it's untidy ball at the breakdown. It's a bit of a hackathon here, but Royal coming away with it. That's good ball for Royal. It's a little bit delayed, but Shaukat Lahir. Here's Chandula, ball carrier, takes it up and wins a penalty for his team. That was a bad mistake there by the number 5 for St. Peter's. Rajapaksa, the big lad, not ruling out of the way after making a tackle on his opposite number. And this should be, it's very important that the forwards as well should be
the side that makes less mistakes, Shanaka, should come out, and also the turnovers are going to be very crucial. So support at the breakdown point, the ball carrier keeping the ball with him as we see the 3 points attempt by Royal. Between that game and this game, he must have whispered to the coach and said, keep you on the bench, it came off well, so why not repeat it?
Interesting call as Sandesh Chavikrama lines up this kick in a nice hush on these grounds at St. Peter's. Breeze blowing across and lovely conditions for rugby. Appalling conditions to bring you commentary, but apart from that, it's good. Abhay Vikrama strikes it well once again, but it's just wide of the right upright, so both kickers missing slightly wide to the right. But this kick a little bit more difficult than Aski's kick a few minutes earlier. And now Royal have their opportunity to drop out from the 22, and it's taken to be taken by, and it's well followed up by Royal, and they take advantage of the knock forward, and it will be the first scrum of the game. It's taken a while to get the first scrum of the match, actually, about 7 or 8 minutes now. And this scrum will dictate a lot about how the game is going to go. Royal have been really dominant in their scrums this entire season. They have destroyed all the packs that came before them. But this is probably the sternest test that they're going to face in terms of an 8. And there we go, St. Peter's showing exactly what they are capable of as well. And the penalty, unfortunately for Peters, despite that scrum, that good scrum going the other way.
Sorry, it'd be interesting to know what the penalty was. I just didn't have, could not see, because it's a massive drive by the pit rights. Or did they break off early? Because what is the indication of the referee? There's no indication of the referee, but definitely a massive drive by the Peters, and that will speak a lot for the next 80 minutes.
Yes, the first scrum is so important, especially when you're playing against such a strong forward pack like this Royal one. Probably the best pack in schools at the moment. But Peters will be one. This is Madhushan once again, is a big ball carrier for Royal. Keshan Piris, the vice captain, on the blind side. Here's Supun Vandakulasuriya, the danger man, with the ball in hand for the first time in this game. Here are the forward pods once again. Shaukat Lahir goes left. Big tackle on him. Massive hit from Ranasinghe. Avishka Ranasinghe starting at number 12. And now Gal Jasinghe goes long. Here's a space. Banuga Gamage. Cutting inside is Mahima Gamage. Sabit Feroz, in fact, it was on the left wing. Ball is still available for Royal. Now they spread it to the opposite flank. Good defense from St. Peter's. They've got across well. But Royal are dictating terms here in the 22. Here's a big prop forward, but he gets hammered hard as well. Good aggressive defense from the Peters team. Royal forced to go inside. Still available. It's excellent ball for Royal. They're controlling this well. And here's Owinaski with the dummy. Almost makes it through, but Peters recovering. Keshan Piris lends his weight to that breakdown. And it's available for Ashok once again. Breakdown so important in this game. Here's Ashok. Gives it to Jasinghe. Jasinghe with the inside ball. Madhushan makes good ground. Excellent ground. Madhushan has carried the ball with telling effect already. Jasinghe thinks about going long. Decides to go himself. And it's available once again. This is Chandula. Great work from Royal to keep the ball in hand here. Over the line he goes, and that's a try for Madhushan. He has been really outstanding in these first few minutes of the game. The big second row forward, doing a lot of work in the line out and doing a lot of work with the ball in hand as well. And he's a tall chap, but doesn't prevent him getting down when his body position was excellent going over there for the try, Changa.
Yeah, absolutely. The Royals were sniffing that line for quite some time. Control rugby. Kept it with the forwards. Control game plan. Game once again. Kept it short. Bodied in. And did everything right. And that was fantastic. Superb try by Royal. Absolutely well compiled, well executed try. And I thought the forwards played very well by keeping the ball together. As we see the extra 2 points coming in. It's 5-all at the moment. The Royal is kicking at goal because there's a bit of a noise on the puck.
That's a good kick by Owinaski. Oh, but just wide once again of the right upright. And it would have been interesting. We don't obviously have the facilities here, Changa, but there were quite a few phases. It would have been about 15 or 20 phases before Royal went over the line there. And that speaks wonders of the technical superiority of this Royal side to keep the continuity going for so long.
Absolutely, well drilled side. The forwards and the three quarters combining and keeping up with the simple game plan. That's the key issue. It has been simple execution and the 5 points. It will be a massive comeback. St. Peter's have to go with the defense as we see a kick down to the pit right. Both sides have been very vulnerable on the high ball.
Back three defense has not really been tested this season so far. We'll have to wait and see how they do under this test. It's a defensive line out for Royal, but St. Peter's will try and contest it, I'm sure. So clears beautifully from the pocket of Changa. He's got 9 and 10 who are both really good with their boot. So that's something that a lot of coaches don't have.
Yeah, I know. That's right. You're right. They could kick from the base of the scrum. They could put it, go on the wide, and he can put the ball in. Interesting. The number 10. His father played at number 8 for Royal, and he's playing at number 10. But definitely, you're absolutely right.
Kyle Jasinger, the number 10. Going forward is Fernando there, the scrum half for Peters, acting. Still available for St. Peter's, but it's much slower ball than Royal got. Yapa stepping inside. Elpachitra, the former St. Peter's captain. Referee had...
They didn't contest the ball. And then the ball was moving forward. And the Petrites were claiming that the form one is moving forward. But I don't know, I'm not sure. I think that law comes in only where you take a short tap, till you engage, that you cannot have a flying wedge. I'm not sure about the maul, which is not contested, whether the side that wins the ball could move forward.
Well, Changa, that's not a good strike from Abebe. Pressure slowly. But as Changa was discussing, that flying wedge is what a maul becomes. If it's not a maul, Ashok taking it quickly. Good thinking from the scrum half. St. Peter's caught napping. Piris sends it out to the blind side. Good tackling in the end by Delpachitra. Another pitch battle for possession here, but good read by Ashok. Beautifully taken by Diat Fernando. Diat Fernando steps through. Fernando looking for the long ball. And is that a penalty or not? Referee will tell us. It's just a knock forward. The Royal defender did well there. He didn't slap the ball down, which might have resulted in a penalty. Instead, he used his brains and tried to actually intercept the ball. Did really well. So Diat Fernando there, turning the game alight with a little bit of a with another decent scrum. Avishkar Ranasinghe, the beautiful run straight down the middle. And that's a referee with a penalty arm out. Nishan Pereira. Here's Yapa. Yapa sees the line. And still going. Still going, St. Peter's. This is great stuff. Needed to give it out to Pereira. And it's quick. But it's Nikhil, beautiful collection, turns. Is he over? He's over! And the referee says that it was held up. Referee said held up. What an exciting passage of play there. Changa, we'll just have a look at what happened here. On the replay, the number 11 for St. Peter's, Fernando, did really well to stay on his feet and almost dive over the line. But and the try is given. I thought he was over. He looked like an excellent bit of rugby from to score.
Yeah, absolutely. You're right, Shanaka. You forgot the center. They went left, right, and center. And they managed to score. And brilliant try. Royal under pressure for the first time by the 3/4. That's the beauty of it. Royal have been... this season, they had some good games. But this evening, they are under pressure. And St. Peter's, having had pulling the ball right all over the place. And of course, the referee had to consult the touch judge or the assistant referee to award the try. But brilliant passage of play. And this game is opening up to be a fantastic evening.
A lot of people wondering why I'm not at the Joseph's St. Thomas's game, Changa, but this is why I chose to come here today. It's an outstanding game. Both teams really up for it. And the continuity is excellent from both teams. Royal went about 15 phases to score their try. Not as many by St. Peter's, but enough. Abe Vikram, he's the one who just went straight through the middle. And this Peterite midfield of Ranasinghe and Nishan Pereira, both big, strong boys, maybe the first midfield to really upset Iddawala and Gamage, whose defense has not been tested so far this entire season. Well taken by St. Peter's there. And now they give it to Sandesh Abe Vikrama, who thumps it down the field. It's a good kick from him. Supun Vannakulasuriya takes it in his hands for the first time. Lovely long pass out to Avinaski. Aski gives it to Ashok. Great work to hold him up by Guru Singh. His brother Keith would have been proud of that. Good charge forward by Royal, but again, excellent defense. Delpachitra. Well taken there by Nishan Pereira. Excellent run. He needs to cut in field now. Needs to cut, but does well to stay in the field of play. Diat Fernando is with him. Scrum half with a long pass out to Ranasinghe gives.
I will see when one side is the other team puts the ball in, whether there's a
Royal Small, so many meters this season. The first time they brought it out here today. But St. Peter's do well to pull this one back. And the referee calls a collapse. I thought that Maul was on its feet most of the time. Referee calling a collapsing.
I think he called the collapse the earlier one. He had his arm out. Maybe that's where they would have seen a knee on the ground so that he couldn't take it. Because I think he should blow for the collapse Maul immediately, Shanaka, because that's the collapse Maul is brought in especially to stop because of dangerous play, because of
Pasandu Amarasinghe comes off. So let's hope this doesn't become a game that's decided on the lottery of scrums and penalties, especially since both teams have done so well. Well, the referee didn't call the previous one, Changa. He didn't call the previous one. We had a chat about it and we decided that maybe it's not a problem. But Peters, if they don't contest the maul, if they don't contest, then there is no maul formed. That means players can't be in front of other players. That's my understanding of it. Let's discuss this. But if the maul is not formed, because the maul needs an opposition player to form as well. So then they can come round and play the ball.
yeah. Once you set a maul, you need three from to form a maul, two from one side, one team, right? That sets the maul. But having said that, off a line out, once the catcher is in front, they can set the wedge, the driving wedge, and they can drive forward. But the ball is transferred back, then it becomes obstruction.
Absolutely. And this one, the ball is transferred back pretty quickly. Nishan Pereira brought down by Gamage. Peters forwards getting there quickly. Good work by Fernando, the scrum half. Here's Guru Singh. Goes to ground and makes it available nicely. Good ball again. Avishkar Ranasinghe with a long pass out to his wing three-quarter. Needed to find his forward runner. Still available. And now here's the ball for Sandesh Abe Vikrama. Good tackle on Yapa. Guru Singh gets the offload away. The bounce ball to Nishan Fernando.
A forward pass by St. Peter's. The crucial pass was the forward pass. And coming back to the maul, if you transfer the ball, then it becomes obstruction in front. That's why the referee called. But I'm not sure about the call on the scrummages, what's happening. Because St. Peter's drives them forward to slightly at an angle, and then the referee penalizes them. So maybe at halftime we can get a clarification on that.
I'll leave you to do the asking the questions. Changa, that's a good break from Supun Vannakulasuriya, but brought down nicely by the beat right number 7 Guru Singha. And Royal now playing rugby in their own half. Strip the ball. Excellent work by the beat right defender there. Outstanding work, in fact. That was the beat right number 8, De Silva. SM De Silva, who ripped the ball out of the hands of the Royal ball carriers. Scrum to St. Peter's. Good push forward from Royal, but Peters counter it well. And here's Abhay Vikrama. Big up and under. Massive up and under. Who wants this one? Beautifully taken there by Fernando. KM Fernando has already scored a try today. Is it going to be his day? But he was knocked forward. Unfortunate knock on, and Abhay Vikrama putting some good pressure. Good scrum again by St. Peter's, spinning that one round. Referee not calling a wheel. Oh, yes, he is this time. Oh, that's a big victory for St. Peter's, Changa. Big victory for St. Peter's. And this is a point that a lot of people have been talking on our ThePapare forums as well, Changa. And they've been saying, has the side of the draw that Royal has come up from, they've been unbeaten, but is that side a little bit weaker than the side that Isipatana, St. Joseph's and St. Peter's have come from? And is that why Royal have been unbeaten so far and been so dominant? Is it because the other side of the draw was much stronger?
Well, I don't thought about that, Shanaka, but it's definitely food for thought. And there might be a point. There might be a point because if you see the other teams, you got the Greens on this side, St. Peter's on this side, and St. Joseph and Kingswood. Kingswood was on the other side. Yeah, okay, fine. Yeah, I'm a bit confused of the teams. But having said that, yes, about the scrummages, about wheeling, as I said, I think we should. The referee should manage the wheel, and they're having a chat about it. I suppose they're having a chat about it, and I think because the restarts have to be very steady, very good, because it's be boring otherwise once you start spoiling the restarts.
That's exactly what referee Dinka Pires told both captains. He said, I want the scrum steady. I don't want you shoving before the ball is in. And he said, please convey this to your forwards. Heard him on our mic that has been fixed to our live feed. And you can already see a lot of downward pressure on that scrum. And the penalty goes to St. Peter's. Not really sure what that goes for Royal, rather. Not really sure what that was for. And here he goes. Good run by Ashok. Fernando hanging on for dear life to his boot. Royal keeping it on the blind side. Playing that close game that they're so good at. Referee still got his arm out for a penalty. Peter's not shy to contest this one. Rajapaksa getting penalized there for his illegal entry. Any idea what that penalty was for, Changa, at the scrum?
Yeah, that was for guarding off because he was flanking out. In the scrummage, you protect the ball by flanking in, but when you flank out, you're virtually obstructing the opponents by getting to the ball.
Scores from the other matches happening around today. We have Royal 5, St. Peter's 5 here at Bambalapitiya, and then we have St. Thomas's leading St. Joseph's by 10 points to 5. That's a real surprise. 10 points to 3 actually. And Trinity 7 against Kingswood's 10. So 2 upsets on the cards. Gail Jasinger drops this one backwards. Looks to run. Fernando shadows him. Jasinger now lays it back for his arriving forwards. And here's some space on the blind side. Mahima De Silva. Oh, that's good support play from Nikhila Gunadhira, but he drops the ball on the offload. That was a real shame. Mahima Gamage with an excellent run down the right flank. And who found himself in support? None other than the prop forward Nikhila Gunadhira. And he was so surprised to see an open field in front of him. He dropped the ball. But excellent play from Royal there. And Ashok really has come to the party. And now we see the St. Peter's crowd really cheering as Kevin Dixon comes off the bench. Not sure who's being replaced yet. But an early call from coach Ben McDougall, and the man who's done very well in the time he's been on the field, Avishkar Ranasinghe, is a man to give way. Excellent defense from Avishkar, and he was instrumental in the second try that St. Peter scored. Great hands he has. His father's a basketball player, so he's too. Dad coached the under 20 junior national side, so good clearance under pressure from St. Peter's, but now Royal with their tails up.
That was a tactical substitution, I think. Shanika bring in Kevin Dixon. He's called Kuti. I don't know whether I'm permitted to call him Kuti. Yeah, but definitely, and that will inspire the Patriots. Have been playing some super rugby. As you see the Royal line out and the crucial walk, they can walk it through as long as they don't pass the ball in front.
Well, referee called the last one, not calling this one. Not sure what the issue is. It's whether the ball is at the back or not. And that's a try. That's a try for St. Peter's on the stroke of half-time. So for Royal on the stroke of half-time. As the captain goes in, they concede a try. That's not good for the momentum. But this is the thing that has been separating Royal from all the other sides that they have played. Their maul has been absolutely brilliant all season. They've got so much power and pace and strength and technique in this maul. It really is unstoppable. There's no way, Changa. You've coached a lot of rugby. How would you tell a team to stop this?
Well, I think you got to stop it somewhere down the line. Otherwise, you don't be on the park. But you don't. My advice is that you don't drive. You don't drive the maul. You just stay put and hold it. It's two different things. You hold it like a jackknife, like these cranes you get the four corners. The jack to set that thing in. As a conversion finds the right upright again, and Royal, in the nick of time, has taken the lead.
Yes, it's probably the best time to score ever in a rugby match. So it's 10 points to 5 in favour of Royal College, the home team. Sorry, it's 10 all actually. We are a little bit hampered here at St. Peter's by the media position that we have. Don't really have a lot of stuff at our fingertips. It's 10 all and everything to play for in the last 40. This match is turning out to be a cracker. St. Joseph's leading 13-10 at Havelock Park. And looking like we have a real exciting 40 minutes on our hands. We'll be back with all the action on ThePapare.com in a few minutes' time.
At the end of the first half, the score stands as follows. St. Peter's College 10, Royal College 10.
Welcome back to your live coverage here on www.thepapare.com of this game for the Angi Trophy between Royal and St. Peter's. Absolutely nothing in it at the end of half time. Royal scoring on the stroke of the first period. And it looked very much like the Royal Maul is going to come into play more and more in the second half. Changa, as Royal managed to drive that Maul over for the try for Supun Vandakula Surya. But not before St. Peter's had stayed in the lead for quite a while in that game. But Royal coming in probably as favourites would have been surprised.
Yeah, absolutely surprised because they are facing a lot of stiff resistance in defense, in attack. They have not been tested this season. I see another clean line out by Royal. Now the Patriots have engaged in the maul, in the try line out maul. Royal is still driving. They have position. And the penalty arm is out. The referee is Dinka Piris, who had a good game so far. His arm now is collapsing, bringing the maul down. Are they better off by not contesting the, what do you call it, a driving wedge?
Not really sure what to do in these situations, Shanga. There's so many options. Do you contest a line out? Do you not contest a line out? Delpa Chitra there under the entire collapse maul, so he was penalized by referee Dinka Piris quite correctly because they need to stay on their feet, all players contesting the maul. But this becomes such an area of contention, and we're going to see a lot of controversy going forward, I'm sure, with this rolling maul, especially in international rugby. A lot of unions calling for it to be changed, the laws to be amended. Well, that ball is still with the coming through. That was RM Silva. Tried to attack the ball carrier. Still going is Supun Vandakula Surya. But the referee coming back for that offside. Now, Changa, that's interesting. If you don't engage if you don't engage at the outset, there's no maul. So there is no offside line, which means the player can come round. Yes or no?
Yes, you're right. Absolutely right. But at that incident, he got it wrong. He read it wrong. The maul was already set. The Patriots did engage. But you're absolutely right.
And if they disengage, the offside line still exists. That's what Pereira got wrong there. And Gail Jayasinghe knocking it directly into touch in goal. That's a wasted opportunity for Royal. Second time, in fact. Pumped straight down the field into the hands of Supun Vandakula Surya, who's good number 8, watching the position. Ashok doing really well there, spotting the space. Good chase by Royal there. Excellent chase. And I must say, Changa, Ashok really has come to the party in this game. He's been aggressive. His passing has been good. His kicking from the base has been good. And he's providing a lot of cover for Gail Jayasinghe, who hasn't really had the best game so far. But Ashok really has been the one in charge today.
Yeah, the number 9 for Royal has been sometimes till he passed from the base. As you see the hooker, the Royal player making a big, massive run right into the number 10, opposite number 10. As Royal is on the attack, I'll come back to you that. Shanaka.
Excellent kick by Jayasinghe. Here goes Mahima. And just as we say, he hasn't been having a great game. He puts one on the money. And Mahima Gamage chasing up. Scores an easy try. A superb bit of work there from Ashok with a lovely long pass once again to Jayasinghe. Gave him all the time that he needed. And Jayasinghe put in a beautiful cross kick. They scored immediately after the resumption in the first leg against Trinity with a similar chip kick. And Jayasinghe using that to brilliant advantage. And it took St. Peter's completely by surprise.
Absolutely well executed. Saw the gap. And I think he heard you too, Shanaka. He said so far he has not had a good game. But definitely the boy has done his stuff. A beautiful kick in the corner and well collected by the winger, and a lovely try to get their nose in front with the conversion to come. So it's 15-10 for the conversion to come.
Owen Askey with probably the most difficult kick of the game so far that he's had, the fullback. Doesn't strike it brilliantly, but it looks good. Yes, it is. Probably his worst strike of the afternoon, and somehow it goes over.
The score stands at Royal College 17, St. Peter's College.
So this is a rejuvenated Royal side, Changa, that tried that they scored just before the halftime break, really got their tails up. And obviously, the coach's input at the halftime break has changed them tactically as well. You see them looking for the space behind St. Peter's now. Let's see whether Coach McDougall's advice at halftime will pay the same dividends for St. Peter's. St. Peter's know that they need to play territory and make the tackles they were making early on in the first half. Royal secure this one. And Askey gives it to Jayasinghe, who is visibly more confident already. Beat Fernando. Brilliant mazy run in the first half. Lovely tackle there by Akash Iddavala. And Kevin Dixon gets his first touch of the ball. Kicked through by Gamage, the captain. Sandesh Abe Vikrama trying to get there. Almost does. And it's a line out under severe pressure for St. Peter's. Untidy ball. Kevin Dixon has not been having the greatest game since he came on. They scored with the same move that he came on, and we were talking about this off air as well, Changa. I think the timing of that substitution was wrong, and Avishkar Ranasinghe should probably have played the entire half, and the substitution being made at half time, if at all. Sending him in 1 minute before half time was not going to help anybody. But Royal will now, any prizes for guessing what they're going to do now here, Changa?
Well, I think they're going to work their three quarters, Shanika. Their forwards have been demolishing every other opponent this season. I'm sure that will be the story. And yes, I like the defense that Royal went through there. They let the center run and kept a gap and then got him off with the ball not going to the skipper's hand. That's a fantastic, what you call a defense by them.
Do well to defend it at this point. Ball on the floor, and well done by St. Peter's there.
Coming back to the number 9, the halfback, did you mention, I thought he was a forward. He was like a 9th forward, playing with the forwards, keeping the ball there, and then suddenly you find the passes coming out beautifully, swing pass. Then you realize that he's a halfback.
Yes, he really is an excellent addition to this Royal side. Played fly half last year and moved to scrum half. He's done the job really admirably. Royal still grinding this one out. And here's the big Royal forward runners. Supun Mandakula Surya waiting for it. It's available. It's slow ball for Royal, but they won't mind that from this distance. And that's great upper body strength from Royal. Great strength. Still available. Ashok weighing his options both ways. Now he gives it to Jayasinghe. Jayasinghe with the long flat pass to Askey, who throws the dummy. And gets beaten in the tackle, Askey. Probably needed to take route 1. And that's a good kick. And the tackle was illegal entry into the ruck, says referee Dinka Piri. So St. Peter's defending stoutly there. And Royal, for the first time, unable to score from close quarters.
Yeah, Peter right through the game has had good defense plan. That's why the scores quite close because Royal have been mauling and they have been driving in. But St. Peter's, on the other hand, the position that they have put to maximum use, where the threes have been outstanding. And it's been a fantastic evening of rugby, Shanaka. There's no doubt about that. And the 30, 20, 35 boys have been absolutely fantastic. As we see Royal St. Peter's finding touch into the almost of the 50 mark of the penalty for side entry. They must remember that they must enter through the gate and not over on the sides.
Few substitutions being made for St. Peter's. Heenpalla has gone into scrum half. Madhushan knocking that ball on in the front of the scrum. And Heenpalla will need to provide good service. Important scrum here for the Peterites. They need to get some territory. It's almost on the 50-meter line and they need to get back into the opposition half. You can't allow Royal to play in your half because they will punish you. They will punish you from anywhere. They'll win the penalty. They'll go to the corners and that's the end of that. So for Peters to come back into this game, they need to play it down in the opposite half from where they're at right now. Gunadhira on the loose head side of the scrum has been excellent this season. And that's a big scrum from Royal, but Peters hold on well. Heenpal under immense pressure. Kevin Dixon. That ball came off the hand. It was touched. It was touched and everybody saw that except the touch judge. The referee noticed it and the line out will go to St. Peter's. And that's why they've put Dixon on at first receiver to try and put his team down into the opposition 22, Changa.
Yeah, that's another surprise move, playing as position 10. That kick was fantastic, and the Peterites are attacking this half, their favorite side. They're attacking the favorite side, favorite goal line. And now they have a very good position, strong position to attack. As we see a line out taking place, if they have the quick throw and a fantastic take, the throw's not in. This is absolutely rubbish. It's crucial. You got to win your lineouts, and when you come into a advantage position, and then you just throw it away and roll off for the scrum, and that's where they're going to be very strong, and they will clear the lines, and they should clear the lines.
That's another rule that a lot of the people have been talking about at the upper levels of the IRB, Changa. They're saying that if the line out is not genuinely contested by the other team, that we should avoid calling the crooked throws, and I think that's a good practical move to make for the betterment of rugby. Well done there by Heenpalla, but he knocks it on in the process, puts Ashok under tremendous pressure.
Fantastic job by the Peterite forwards there. I mean, they put the Royal forwards under pressure, and that's how where the bad ball came out. And coming back to the line out, yes, why not? Because if you see the scrummaging, feeding into the scrummages, it's never straight. It's never straight. Come on, we know it. You know it. We're never straight. So why not the line out? As soon as the entry to the line out is straight, that's all that matters.
Yes, indeed, and that was a number 6 throw, the first one that Peters have attempted this match. Supun Vandakula Surya goes off the back, but he's well tackled there by Guru Singh on the open side. He goes again, Vandakula Surya. Lokugamage lying all over that one, but referee saying play on. Good pressure from St. Peter's. Ashok obstructed there because of the counter ruck. And the referee says there was a ruck formed, so you can't go in there and contest the ball. So ill discipline from St. Peter's. And now Ashok goes, takes it quickly. Good thinking from the young halfback. Lovely pass from Bhanuka. Bhanuka to Akash Iddawala, and now is Iddawala going to go all the way, but Bhanuka might. Bhanuka all the way under the post. There he goes, the captain scoring again. He's been in tremendous scoring form, and Changa, I tell you once again, it was Ashok that created that move with his quick thinking, took the tap, hit the gap, and gave the ball out to the men with the speed on the outside. This man has been having a tremendous game today.
Yeah, absolutely. My man of the match this evening, certainly the halfback. Fantastic. Saw this gap, so good thinking, moved it, and good, well supported by the three quarters. And the captain quite rightly finishing it off. There's only one word to describe, or maybe two words. It's a right royal try.
It is indeed, and that's the great thing about this Royal team, Changa. They can score tries like they scored at the end of the first half with the tight mauling game. The first try that they scored, plenty of phases with the forwards holding on to it, and they can also score these breakaway tries, which are really nice to watch. So it's a good, complete rugby side, and that I think it's a deserved. It will be a deserved win if they manage to come out victors in this game. But I think St. Peters have a little bit left in their tank. Let's see what they come back with. Good body language from the Pete Wrights here. They show that they are eager to get on with it. Most sides that have played Royal have hung their heads after they've been at the receiving end of that demolition in the forwards. Loku Gamage with one of his runs off the restart. And that's another good ball out to Mahima Gamage. Gamage with an excellent handoff there. Finally brought down by Diat Fernando. Kevin Dixon does well to win that ball because Gamage had no support. But he knocks it on in the process. But Royal really looking dangerous. They know that their forwards are under a bit of pressure here. And they've met a forward pack that can match them. So instead they're going wide. And Gamage and his boys are doing the rest.
Yeah, this is what the option they didn't have over the previous years. They didn't have the option of the threes running. Now they got the option of, if the forwards are being under tremendous pressure, put under pressure, they got the three quarters to ease the pressure off, then bring it back to the forwards and do their normal job. And that has been absolutely, that's what they have been doing this evening. They right throughout the season. I mean, that's a privilege or a extra thing that every team should have. But the Royal Threes have been tremendous too. And the two centers, Gamage and the East Coast center, Iddavala, they have punched hole. And I mean, the future looks good for Sri Lankan three quarters.
Indeed it does, and Iddavala is a good size as well. Changa, now that Roshan or Gayan Veeraratne is pretty much on his way out, be nice to have a nice big number 12 in that Sri Lanka jersey. Royal doing really well this time with the scrum. Dragging that one forward. And I think standing or breaking away is the call. Losing their bind in the scrum. And Jasing away, Ashok wastes no time. Well done there by Chandula, winning it nicely. And now the ball is at the back. Varnakula Surya looking to score his second try of the game. Looks like it's going to be easy for him. Just have to walk this one over. That ball going backwards. And well driven out into touch. So I was asking you earlier in this game that what you can do to defend the scrum, and they did exactly the maul, and they did exactly what they were supposed to do. They drove it sideways, stopped the forward momentum, Changa, and that's where the referee has to shout, use it, because if the maul stops going forward, you have to say use it. If it stops again, then the scrum goes to the other side. Yeah,
that's right, and they did very well in that. Actually, to be Chanaka, you stop the drive by holding it. You don't drive it, then the thing will break off somewhere down the line. Then you get the numbers less carrying the ball and supporting the ball. That's the time you drive them out. And it has to be perfectly executed defense, because the key issue in modern rugby is not attack, it's defense.
Indeed it is, and I think that's probably the first time the Royal Mall was successfully defended this entire season. And this is the Peterite scrum, but Royal will try and disrupt this. Well, they don't get the opportunity to do that because a penalty is coming their way, St. Peter's. And whacked forward by Kevin Dixon. Owen Askey waits for it, takes it well. Thinks about giving it to Mahima Gamage. And instead gets in trouble with his teammate who was arriving. They run into each other. There's a bit of an obstruction. And they concede a penalty on the 50-meter line. It's accidental offside, in fact, so they've gone for this. They've been awarded the scrum, not an obstruction. And this is a lovely attacking scrum for St. Peter's. We haven't seen De Silva go off the back at all. He's not a running number 8. He's a very defensive player, which is something you need as well. But maybe this is time to test Shaukat Lahir on the open side of the scrum. De Silva gives it to Kevin Dixon. Dixon to Nishan Pereira. Nishan Pereira, the man who scores the first try. He's going to go all the way. Yes, he looks like he is. Nishan Pereira, is he over? Yes, he is. Nishan Pereira, brilliant draw and pass by Kevin Dixon. You can see why he's at first receiver. Takes the ball, draws 2 defenders. A lovely short pass to Nishan, who hit a beautiful angle, Janga. He changed his direction just before he caught the ball, straight through the middle. And Owen Askey's defense, he's a good kicker, but his defense as the last man has been a little wanting.
I can only say this, Shanaka. This evening, we have seen 5 excellent centers. That speaks good for the country. That's excellent and excellent running, strong runners. That's a good thing for the future. Absolutely. 5 good centers. We got 2 on the field, 4 on the field now, and the boy who was substituted, Avishkar Ranasinger. Absolutely spot on. And they are big boys, they're willing to run. And this boy who scored the try, Nishan Pereira, has been outstanding this whole evening. Entire evening he has been outstanding. He has been punching holes in the Royal 3-quarter line in their defense. As we see Dixon lying up to make the scores closer. You can hear the papare. No, he hooks it. His body went the other way, and the ball went the other way.
They needed that kick, Changa, to make it 20 points to 17. 24 points to 17. But instead, it stays at 24-15, so a 9-point gap. But a lovely try. Sorry, a 9-point gap. 9-point gap, sorry. My maths is a bit off today. Royal now will try and close this game out. They don't need to do anything spectacular. And that's exactly what Ashok thinks when he thumps it deep. Ian Palla gives it to Dixon. Dixon under pressure but manages to get it away. It's a good kick under pressure from the scrum half. The only thing about this Peterite side, Changa, is when Kevin Dixon goes onto the park, everyone's looking for him. He's like Michael Jordan and the Chicago Bulls. And that might take away the other players' impact in the game. And that's something they've got to think about as well.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Because even last week, till he got onto the field, there was no fire from the side. But we got tremendous. They were inspired. And, you know, when he's on the field, as we see Royal on the attack now.
Keshan Piris, who won the line out. Supun Mannakulasuriya does. Lokugamage, in fact, does really well there. And now this is front football for Royal. Now it's the strength and conditioning that's starting to tell. Royal have been in excellent shape all season. Their strength levels, upper and lower body, have been outstanding. And here's Iddavala. Iddavala brought down eventually by Sandesh Abevikrama. Ball is loose. And Dixon brings him down. Keshan Peiris, real strength that he shows. Holding on is the call from referee Peiris. And good defensive work there. And Dixon needs to put his team back into the opposition half. Lokagam, that's Swarnakula Surya does really well. Ashok drops the ball. And Peters try to overrun them. It needs to come quickly for Peters. Delpachitra, quick ball. And yes, is Nishan Peiris going to get his hat-trick? Almost did. It's still coming for St. Peters. And it's there for Heenpalla, who goes in after it. Gives it to Dixon. Dixon tries to dance his way through, but loses the ball. And that was knocked forward. And now Royal thump it down the field. With Sabit Feroz setting off after it, but and Nishan Pereira thought for a moment he was going to get his hat-trick there, Changa, but probably should have cut back in field and waited for his support.
Yeah, that's another key issue that we miss. We run away from support without coming into support, because they must not forget, I keep on telling this, the line out, touch is another defender, because you got to stop play as soon as you touch that. And then you got to come in for support, but maybe he thought, okay, I see the line, I see the gap, I see the grass, let me take it.
It's a problem that's prevalent in at almost every level in Sri Lankan rugby, where players try to run themselves. Oh, it's a penalty for push, I think. Heenpalla giving away a needless penalty there. That's just completely unnecessary for him to do. Absolutely unnecessary for Heenpalla to give that away there.
The disadvantage of giving a penalty in that position is that you might as well give the ball out to the fly half. He will put the ball into touch, maybe on the 22 meter. You have the throw in. Now he will put the ball down about 30, 40 meters down, and you won't have the throw in. That's the difference. You must never give a penalty there.
That really was unforgivable. Pasidu Amarasinghe makes his third foray onto the park. Maybe this is his permanent substitution. On for Keshan Peiris once again, who started bleeding. Has played a typically tough game today, Peiris. Coming down pretty hard was Umesh Madhushan there. And now with the left-footed kick, letting it bounce. Lovely work by Fernando. There was shouts of a high tackle there, but can't really see much what's going on here on the field. It's really opening up here. Bhanuka Gamage manages to get it away. Oh, that's good defense on him, but and scores from the 1 hour mark at the other games. We have St. Thomas's 25 and St. Joseph's 27. Real close game going on there. And we have Trinity, who have managed to come back from their early deficit, and they're leading 41 points to 25 against Kingswood. Those are the other games going on today in the Singer Schools League. You can watch those live on ThePapare.com as well. But I think we're here at the most entertaining game. Good scrum by Royal. And Kevin Dixon making a real hash of it there. And now it's available for Gamage. Gamage gives it to Sabit Feroz. Feroz tackled desperately, and here's still Ovin. Gamage. Gamage stepping through. Aski. Is it available now for Madhushan? Madhushan scored his second try of the evening, does he? Not yet. And the try is given. A try is given. There were appeals for a knock forward, but the referee was right on the spot. And now Royal are look pretty much untouchable. And the conversion is good for Maskey. He's needed something because he hasn't had a fabulous game in defense, but now Royal pretty much untouchable.
Yeah, 31 points to 15. And there's a huge call for a knock-on, big appeal. And I remember when I used to referee, people used to appeal, and I tell them, go and play cricket. That's where you get the decision when you appeal. Not on the game not on the field where rugby is concerned. And 31 points to 15, I think virtually it's a huge task for St. Peter's to come back. But knowing the character they have, characteristics they have, they every chance of them making a comeback. Then there's 2 tries and they will be back in the game. But Royal, on the other hand, is playing safe. The ball put into no man's land. No, it's straight into the pit right fullback.
They're putting the kicks in. Diat Fernando. That's obstruction. Players in front of the kicker. They need to take the 3 points, I would think. 16. You've got to break them down one by one. And the referee might be giving a yellow card here because it was a high tackle and it was in within the 10 meters. Referee says this is an important stage of the game and please talk to him. And I'm not sure the stage of the game really matters, whether something is high or not. St. Peter's going on the blind side. And they've scored. They managed to barge it over from close quarters. And Heenpalla runs back with the ball. So St. Peter's have managed to get some points on the board, Changa. They've got within, need to try to get within 10 or 11 points if they can. And if they get this conversion, that means that it's a single-digit deficit, which they might try and work, but looks like it's a mountain to climb nevertheless. Royal may have relaxed a little bit there and conceded that try.
Don't write the Pete Wright offs because the comeback boys, because they really showed that they have the courage to come back against Treaty last weekend. And the conversion goes in no man's land, nowhere near the goal post, and the scores will remain 31-19, if I'm not mistaken. 31-20.
Royal College 31, St. Peter's College 20.
Well, you got the scores there on the PA systems. So St. Peter's, I don't know what the clock is like. It's roughly about Yeah, roughly about 5 minutes. Our time, it's not that our time that matters, it matters about the referee's time. But on our clock, it's about 5 minutes. But to get 11 points.
But at this point, it deep in the opposition 22. Watch Ashok thump this one deep. And the forwards just grind it out deep in that opposition territory. A real humdinger on the cards at Havelock Park as well. St. Thomas's trying to overhaul St. Joseph's. It's a 2-point game there, 25 points to 27. The Josephians are suffering a 3-point defeat last week to Science College. They'll be happy with a 2-point win, I'm sure. And that's thumb down the field to the... In fact, it's Rajapaksa. Oh, Kevin Dixon. Is he able to come all the way? Supun Vannakalasuriya. He puts a little kick in. Ovin Aski chases it backwards. Puts the kick in. That's well worked by Aski. Kevin Dixon takes this one again. Spark the move. Can he finish it? And now he thumps it straight. Rakes it down the field. But Gail Jasinghe is brilliantly positioned. Smashed in the tackle. But he's shown good guts today. Gail Jasinghe. It hasn't been a flashy game for him, but he has managed to do the business. Here's Ashok with the ball to Vannakalasuriya. Gamage. Gamage held on by Pires. Real battle at the breakdown here. Royal will be totally all right with this because it runs down the clock, Changa.
Keep it with them, keep it the forwards, and keep it simple and run the clock down, as you said. And what a game it will be between the gold and blue and the green shirts. As we see a chip over the line. And Pires has scored. A beautifully executed, lovely chip. I just couldn't see who chipped that ball. It may have been the 9 or the 10. He saw the gap. Very well executed. Virtually the game over for St. Peter's.
Royal now completely untouchable. And to score nearly 40 points against the speed right side, you can see how awesomely this Royal forward pack has played since that scare that they received in the first half. St. Peter's came to play, but I think they got it tactically a little bit wrong. I think that substitution for that is as it does. And Aski almost threads the eye of the needle.
The score stands at
Gail Jasinghe goes off.
St. Peter's College 20.
36 points to 20. 16 points isn't going to be surmountable now. Madhushan takes the ball. He scored 2 tries already. That ball was out. Pickpocketing that ball was the Pete Wright. It's well done there. Sandesh Abhay goes inside. Heen Palla is trying to step his way through. Puts it behind his fly half. Now here's Dixon trying to create a bit of magic. Sandesh Abhay hasn't had much to do since the first half. And the news from Havelock Park is that St. Thomas's have lost very narrowly to St. Joseph. So the Lady Jatilaka Shield stays at Dali Road by a mere 2 points, 27 points to 25. And a brilliant performance by St. Thomas's to try and stay in that game. St. Joseph's going in as overwhelming favourites in that match. But somehow the Thomian grit rising to the top.
Yeah, absolutely. Actually, after the thumping they received from the Greens, you see Patana, They've done well to have to lose by 2 points. And Josephians, of course, on the other hand, is actually climbing strength by strength. They surprised every one of us by beating St. Peter's in the first match. And the news about Trinity versus Trinity Kingswood is it's 58-25. That's a good win for Trinity. That's a long overdue victory for Trinity. And Royal here, he just walk in the park for them now, in the sense St. Peter's had gave them a very good fight. There's no doubt about that. And what a brilliant game, Shanak, it has been this evening. Absolutely fantastic. I mean, all credit to all the players. And
Yes, really excellent try scored by some good first phase tries as well. As Bhanuka Gamage gets carried off the field, that's really unfortunate for Royal. They've lost Gail Jasing and Gamage. Hopefully it's nothing serious for both those boys. And they'll be back to face St. Joseph's next weekend. Big scrum by the Royalists. Standing up in the scrum, says the referee. Heen Palla goes on his own. Heen Palla still going, needs support. Here it is, available for Heen Palla. Abhay Vikrama gives it to Nishan Pereira. Nishan Pereira still going. Can he get his hat trick? Nishan Pereira trying to get his hat trick, but no. Still camped on the line now in the last probably move of the play. And it's a breakdown ball. Heen Palla waits for it. Here's the switch of play by the number 18 there. Pereira went onto the park. Good strength from him. Royal falling all over that ball. Surely there was a penalty coming there for St. Peter's, and there is. Taken quickly by the Peterites. Worked out. And here's Dixon. Dixon with the long ball out. Diat Fernando will score. And St. Peter's will cap this one off with a try. Diat Fernando. A brilliant run in the first half, followed by a try to close the proceedings today. But it's too little too late from St. Peter's. And you can see why, if they had been tactically sound, St. Peter's could have been much closer on the scoreboard. I think they got it wrong. Because player for player, their performance has not been deserving of the comprehensive victory that Royal have handed them. But it just goes to show that Royal take the opportunities that a lot of other teams have failed to take.
Hey, Shanak, I was just, you're right, absolutely right. I'm just thinking in the first half, the two centers, Avishka and Nishan, did pair off very well. Conversions is not right, and I think the final scores, yes, that's right, the final scores, 36-25. That's a fantastic game. And I think all credit to St. Peter's too for giving up a good fight to Royal.
Yes, a superb performance by both teams, really entertaining rugby. We've seen some brilliant tries scored this entire match from both teams, and I think St. Peter's can count themselves unlucky to lose by so much, but Royal have been really good today. Their maul has been outstanding. Their backs came to the party when it mattered as well, and it has been a comprehensive victory for Royal, who keep marching on towards the title. Isipatana stand in their way, St. Joseph stand in their way, but given the Josephian performance today against St. Thomas's, will that even be a match that Royal will be very upset about? So let's wait and see how that turns out. We got a lot coming up next weekend, but before that we have tomorrow's game. Science hosts Isipatana at the Mount Lavinia ground. We'll be bringing you that live on ThePapare.com as well. Do join us then. Until next weekend, and in fact until tomorrow, from SW Chang and myself, Shanaka, it's goodbye for now.